Now we're going to continue and establish some things, talking from Thessalonians and talking about the way the apostles and prophets, the prophets and the apostles teach about the coming of Christ, even to Jesus, who spoke about the coming of the Christ, which is the coming of himself after he died, buried, and resurrected, and the appearing of himself. And his appearing is to come in men. That's why he's appearing. Understand? Many men of this day and age does not teach Christ appearing in them because he have not appeared in them. They have not experienced Christ appear in them. So they're in darkness. But he speak about, he said, he come as a thief in the night. And he also said this: he will not come as a thief in the night to people who believe. Because what? We are not ignorant. We are the one that understand the gospel because we listen and we believe the gospel of Christ. Because we know that Christ will come in us. So when he come in us, we have to be supposed to be surprised that Christ come in us, meaning he come in us in a vision or a dream, and show himself and show us in heaven that we may be caught up into him. Now, we must understand one thing. When Paul was speaking, he was speaking to believers. People that believe in the gospel of Christ. People that believe that Christ can come and appear in them. So Paul was speaking unto them about the coming of Christ. This hope is what they hope for. They heard the words of Paul that Christ was dead, buried, and resurrected. And he speak about the coming of Christ. When he talk about the coming of Christ, coming of Christ in them. Let me show you what he's talking about. Not only people who are in Christ, but people who believe. Believers of Christ. That's what he's talking about. Believers of Christ. These people here is believers expecting Christ to come. Listen what Paul said over here in 1 Thessalonians. And this way right unto the believers. To them. Now he said here, 1 Thessalonians 2nd chapter verse 19, he said, for what is our hope, our joy, our crown of rejoicing? Are not even ye in the presence of our Lord Jesus at his coming? That is their hope. That is Paul's joy. That's what he hoped for. He don't hope for Christ to come in him. No, he's not hoping for Christ to come in him, but his hope is this: that Christ to come in the people that hear the gospel that he preached and stand in his presence at his coming, at his appearing. That's what his hope is. That's what Paul's hope is. David said this. He said, the ungodly shall not stand in the day of judgment. What judgment? The judgment is this judgment to justify you. This judgment is to justify you from all unrighteousness when you are cleansed. This is what he's talking about. Understand? When your heart is established, let me tell you when your heart is established. Okay? He said this. When? It's when Jesus Christ appear in you. How? In the vision. When he revealed himself unto you. That's what the gospel is about. He said, Christ in you, the hope of glory. This is the gospel. Why do we stray away? Because men of this day and age have not seen the Christ. And they're preaching, they're prophesying in part, because they know in part, because he who is perfect have not come in them. That's the reason why they're still preaching the gospel that is not taking you unto Christ, because Christ is supposed to come in you in this day and age, as you walk in hope to receive that promise, which is Christ.